Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing week 47 of Roxy's weekly challenge. And this week she made little booklets in the shape of tags, Christmas themed again, but they don't have to be. And she started off by using strips of scrapbook paper that she just had ready to go, that were already in suitable size strips. Well, this one certainly is about the right size. It's just over 4.25 inches wide, and I think both hers were 12 inches long, which is what I've got as well. I'm only going to make a couple because it'll probably take me most of the hour to do that. So I've got this one, which is I think this is from the Stamperia paper pad from the Classic Christmas. And then I've got this piece, which is clearly far too wide, but I shall cut that down. Again, it's 12 inches long. I think I'll cut it down to about 4 inches. So this is a Kaisercraft paper, really bright and jolly. And I picked it really because it didn't really matter which way round the tag went, so I could have it that way. I think she was doing them as a booklet like that, but I think they work equally well if you flip them up. So this way it won't matter with this paper. And the back of it is a bit bright and leery, but I thought I'd keep the branding strip because I really like the little Christmas trees along the side, so I shall have to cover that bit up, I think, on my cover. So we'll see what I do with what I can find to do that with. So I think I'll start off by cutting this one down, and I'm just going to cut it down to 4 inches. I think that's perfectly big enough. And like that. So I've got another strip for something else. So, and then I think we have to fold them in half. So fold that one in half. And this one's got really pretty holly on the inside. It's a really pretty one, this, and this is going to be needing a bit of decoration, I think, on the front. But I have plenty of fussy cuts that I could use. So I've got this really pretty border, which I suppose it could go that way. Yes, I might do the tag. It looks really wide, doesn't it? I may cut this one down. I think it's too wide. This is there's not a lot in it, but it does look, now it's folded in half, it looks a bit out of proportion. It needs to be more tag shaped, so I'm going to cut it down a little bit, I think. Don't think it matters which way I cut it. So as I've already cut half of that off, I think I might trim that off a bit further on that side. So I think I might do that down to the 4 inches as well. Right. So what Rachel did, I'm going to try and replicate what she did. She did her tag shape on the open end on one of them, and then on another one she did it at the folded end. So I don't think it matters which way you do it. So I'm going to do one of each just to see. Get my scissors. This way I can have it up like that. It'll look like a tag, and I've got my pretty baubles and with the holly wreath oriented the right way round. Do that like that. I think I might make these a little bit bigger. So I've got to redo the other side. The right way around. Just got to Just cut this one a little bit more, I think. See if I can get it straight. Does that look about level? It looks alright. Okay, so that's that one. And then this one I'll do the other way. I'll do it at the top, the folded bit. Trim that off like that. Alright, so that's my 2 little booklets covers. I need to find something to cover down here. What can I use? Bit of music paper, but maybe it's quite nice. Music is always quite a Christmassy thing. Yeah, maybe I'll do a bit of that. I got my ruler. Yes, I have. No, I want the other ruler. This ruler. Yep. Get rid of some of these bits before I get overwhelmed with little tiny pieces of paper. Right. I should probably want to put some sort of focal point on here as well. But I think I'll do that. Still got some ink from another project I was working on. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's just cover that up. Oh, I need to do the back as well, don't I? Forgot about that. Okay, let's do another piece on the back. Just do the same. I would normally ink it, but because this is not particularly vintagey looking paper, if it had been on the other one I probably will ink things on that one, but because it's quite bright and not very vintagey looking, I don't think I need to, I don't think I'm going to actually ink it, although my instinct is to ink it just to define the edge, but I didn't on the front, so I better not on the back either. And I'm just going to pop that down there. Just do a little trimming. And at the bottom. Right, now I've got to choose some papers to make up the booklet on the inside for both of them. I have got a little selection picked out. So I'm hoping to use I do want to use mainly plain papers. So I've got some, what do you call it? It's the stuff that Rachel uses. I've forgotten the name of it. Sandpaper? No, it's not sandpaper. Oh, it'll come back to me. The brain's gone. But the paper that Rachel uses a lot, I thought I'd use some of that because I have a little bit of it because she puts some in her Florentine packs, which is really handy. So I don't really want a whole pack of it, but it's quite nice to have a few pages. So I'm just going to do it slightly narrower than the booklet itself. Straw paper, that's what it is. I was close. Sand, straw, both start with S, don't they? It's probably not straight, but let's see. Nope, that way around. Oh, I've got I've got those on. Oh, it doesn't really matter which way round they are, does it? Maybe if I do it that way. Yeah, make that my front, I guess. So it's about the right length. Yep. I just need to, it's just about the right length, I guess. It's a little bit long, actually. Might just tear them off a little bit. Nope, and turn this around, get a better grip. So I've got that for that one, and then I'll do another one for the other book. It's really long, this paper. I can't even fit it all on screen. It's longer than my ruler. Okay. First time I've actually used this straw paper. As I say, I haven't got a lot of it, so I suppose you could say I've been hoarding it a little bit, as you do. But I'm determined to try and use some of these things. And so where they stick out of the where the tag shape is, they'll just be trimmed off afterwards once they've been sewn in. I'm hoping the sewing in part won't be too tricky. It's not my best thing, but I'm going to have a go at doing that. This should be easier than doing a journal. Okay, and I've got some ledger paper here that I thought I could put in. It's already been cut into. It's got lots of folds and things in it, but again, it's a very long piece. Just going to even up the edge. For some reason, it's got some weird edgy bits. I suppose that's being part of a ledger. It's supposed to have those tabby areas. So I'll just take that piece off. She says. Not doing a very good job. can see just cutting these papers down is going to take me twice as long as it took Rachel. I hope I get the 2 finished at least. Okay, let's just tear off that little jaggedy bit. Okay, so again I'm just going to tear it to the width I need. Another extremely long piece of paper. So it'll only be enough. I don't think it'll be enough for 2. I'll probably have to do a second piece. Let's just see how it fits in. I do have a fold here, so that might be about right. So I will fold it there because there's already a fold, and I'll tear the other piece off to the same length. Okay, so it's that piece. I'll do one for here as well. I think I might. I think I'm going to have to tear it off at this where it's already folded. I don't really want a really big fold at the in the middle, going down the middle of it, so I'm going to have to take this piece off to use for something else. And then measure. Yep. Making my life difficult for myself here, aren't I? And I'm thinking that I might be able to tear it at this bit here where it clearly was the middle of the ledger. Let's see, is that going to be too wide? Might be. I think I'll just have to do it just inside of that. I wouldn't even be able to put this in the trimmer because it's just too long for my trimmer. But that's okay. I think we're getting there. Right, that's that piece. And it's got a fold here already, so I'm just going to tear it at that point. It's about the right length anyway. Right, so that's that one. What else we got? I did print off a couple of digital. These are digital, the antique letters that Rachel has. So I did wonder about, because this is plain on this side, so I thought I don't really want too much script or anything on here because this is meant to be written on. And then one of the other antique letters I've printed on the back, which again has got only a little bit of script. So I think I might try tearing that down. Perhaps I'll do one digital piece for each of the booklets. See, that's going to work okay. And take the top off as well. Oops. Right, just get rid of these bits. Now I think, yeah, it's going to be about right if I do it down that join. Do it just like to the left of it. And on the back, I mean, it is coloured. It has come from an antique letter. It just looks a little bit, it's got a slightly bluey tinge to it. So I think that'll be okay. So if I fold that like that, that will go in, I hope. Is that going to be too wide? No, it's fine. So that's good. So that can go with this one. Now I could use this other piece. It's got an awful lot of script on it. I've got another one I printed. I don't want to put too many of these digitals in here. But this one I printed with some coffee dyed background, and then it's got some script and some writing. So I think I'll use this piece. I'm going to have to take off here. I'm going to have to take off a bit off the edge here, because the other side was printed when I was able to still print borderless, so it has no borders, but I've just printed this on the back just so that I don't have to, because I think if you start sticking extra things on the back of them to cover up the white, it starts to make them a bit bulky, and it's a bit simpler to do it this way, just to print it and print on the back. Though I don't think I've torn that very straight, have I? Oh well. I may have to trim it a bit. So I'm going to tear it about there. Okay, and then I think I'll do it like that. Oh, I'm just going to cut off these bits of these white bits that we don't want. I don't mind if a few pages are a little shorter. If it comes up too short, I might have to do a bit of adding, but I don't have to do too much of that, adding extra bits like Rachel did that a bit, and she makes it look good, but I don't know if I'd be able to do it as well as she does. And I think that's probably long enough anyway. So I'll put that on the outside. Where was that going? That was going to. I've only got 3. And I've got some easier ones here. I've got an old pad that belonged to my father-in-law, I believe. It's got his name on it, so it's quite nice paper. It's quite thin, but it's got a nice kind of creamy look to it, and I think this would look really nice in there. Let's see how that looks. Folded in half. Yep, that one's alright. So I do have a couple of sheets of this because his name is printed on the back on the top side, and that makes it a bit too short. So I think I'll do it just on one half where his name is not printed. Goes with that one. No, that goes with this one. So I'm just doing them both the same, really, more or less anyway. Yeah, I've got this scrap of quite thick cream paper, and I'm just going to do a bit of that. I think it's really nice. It's from an old Chotter pad, but it's just got really nice quality paper. I think it's meant to be for drawing on. So it's got a bit of thickness to it. One of those. I'm just going to do it the same kind of width, I think, even though it's not. There is a slight difference in the width of the booklets. Okay. I'm thinking I might even leave it a little bit jaggedy. Maybe I'll just tidy it up a little. Oops. That didn't quite work the way I planned. Okay. I think that one goes there. This one slightly narrower. Right, so I've got that one. Is there anything else I can use? I do have some slightly shorter ones. These were from from some old book. I wonder if I fold it that way. Is it too narrow? Yes, it is. Again, this is just an old notepad of some sort. I don't know how old it is. I think it's something that we came from my mother-in-law's place when she passed away, and she had lots of books. I think these are from when she was working. Something about manifold or something. She was an auditor, so I don't know, but the paper's really nice. So I might have to add on a little something to that one. And this one as well. So I got my Florentine papers handy, so I thought maybe I'd put a little bit of Florentine, because it just makes it look a little bit more Christmassy as well, doesn't it? Just have a little bit of extra something on there. And they're plain on the back, so you can still write on that. Right, I might call that good as far as the papers go. Ooh, I've got something wet on there. I've got something wet on my... I must have touched my wet wipe. I can see it's a little bit on the wet side. Let's do this one this way. That way. Yeah. Alright, let's just try putting one of these together and see if we've got enough to make it properly booklety. So I've got the ledger paper. Then I'm going to put this on the outside. Then I want the this is the paper pad. The other thing I could use, oh, just one moment. I went and dug a couple more papers out of my dyeing box, the box where I keep all my dyed papers. So I've got some coffee dyed lined paper, so I thought that would work in a notepad. And then I've got this green, oh, it's a bit torn, I hope it'll be alright. This green paper, because it is Christmas green. well, not really Christmas green, but it's, I thought I could put some green paper in for Christmas, because why not, instead of coffee dyed paper. So I'll do a piece of this first. And just tear this down. So now I'm not sure I'll have enough of the green. I had spotted the tear, but I might be able to make it work. That one, that, and then I'll do another piece. So this one. Even more or less straight, so that's a bit surprising. Let's see how that looks. Is that the right length? Yeah, that'll do. And this one. This should be fine as well. Yeah. Actually, a little bit on the wide side. I think I might just trim that down a little bit more. And gonna work. Yeah, that'd be right. Now let's have a look. See if I can. If that's going to be too narrow. I'll cut that piece anyway. It's a little bit narrower than the others, but they don't all have to be exactly the same width. That's quite a nice one. Now this piece, I think it's possibly not going to work unless I just trim off the torn bit. I wonder if I can do it. I can make it work being narrower. Is that too narrow? No, I'm going to make it work. It's a shame, but and then I might just put something across here to reinforce that torn bit. Okay, that one can go in there. Alright, now I think we can put them together. I think we've got enough now. So I had started with this one, hadn't I? So let's go back to this one. So I've been putting papers inside each other. So I'm going to put that one, and then that one, and the green one, and then this wideish one, but it's a little bit shorter here, but I don't think that, actually I quite like that. It's a little bit shorter there. And then this one, which has got a bit of script, just a little bit narrow again. And then that goes in like that. Yeah, it's quite a decent sized little booklet, that one. So I'm just going to, here's the middle. Here's the middle. Make sure they're all inside. I don't want to sew it in and find I've got bits sticking out. So I've got this outer piece is a little, that's it, just sticking out a bit one side and not level. Okay, let's try and get these clipped together so I can sew it in a moment, and I'll trim off all these corner bits. Another clip here. Okay, so I think that's okay. And I'll come back and sew that in a moment. Just put these ones together. What shall I have in the middle of this one? Perhaps I'll have the straw paper this time. And then a piece of that. And this one. So it looks quite white next to the other one, this one, but it isn't. It is a kind of just an off-white. And put in some of the ledger. Bit of the jotter paper, which is the widest one. Then I've got the green. And then the little digital piece there. Okay, so we have another little, well, I can't pin that together because I didn't, oh, I have got some more, I've got some more clips, haven't I? This is my little book binding bag. I should have 4 of those. Hang on, let me put something on it so it doesn't slip. Yep, another 2 of those clips. Back to the middle. It's easier to find because I know it's the straw paper. Right, just going to cut off these sticky out bits here. Easier said than done because it's really thick. Kind of trimmed. Might have to do a little bit more trimming after I've sewn it, but I can see where I'm sewing a bit better if it's trimmed off first. So I'll trim that one off. And that one went a bit easier. Okay. Let's do this, shall we? Let's see if I can get this funny little booklet sewn together. It shouldn't be too hard. But you know me, I managed to make the easiest little projects look much harder than they need to be. So I'm going to poke my holes first for my pamphlet stitch. So I'm going to go in the middle and then just a little bit in from each side. You can see, just poke 3 holes. Okay, so far so good. And I think I'm going to do what Rachel did on one of hers and have my go in from the outside so that it ties on the outside rather than on the inside. So I've already threaded my needle. This is some embroidery thread in a red because I thought the red would look good, as this is a Christmas project. And it looks like my papers have slipped already. Have I done it? Got it? No. It's not coming through the middle. Excellent. My paper seems to have slipped, which is a bit annoying. So it's not coming through in the middle of the straw paper. Maybe I'll just have to try and go back. Yeah, it's definitely slipped. So I told you, told you I'd make it look difficult, and it shouldn't be. Trying to find the middle of the papers one at a time. Ridiculous. There we are. So I've got the middle now. Now if I try and pin it again, now that I've got my needle going through, so I really want to do it from the out. Yeah, I'm doing it from the outside in. Yeah, that's right. I've got it right now. In the right place at least to start with. Let's see if I can go back through the right place. Yep. Okay. So far so good. Just going to go back through the middle. Just ending up with a really big hole now. And it still won't go through. Oh. I know Rachel has a tendency to call herself a bodgy crafter, but she has nothing on me. She actually is a very, very accomplished crafter. I don't think she realises how good she is sometimes. She thinks things are easy, but actually, if you're me, they're not easy at all. So even this little super easy little project, she made look so simple. And I probably split my thread now, have I? I would think I probably have, knowing me, because that would just be complete the whole thing, wouldn't it? For me to just split the thread. I don't know. Seems to be tight enough. So do a little bow and then have another go and do the other one. Just continue the torture, shall we? A little bit longer. Right, hopefully I'll try to make sure I put enough thread on to do both of them. I don't know if I have. Okay. So it is done. It's not terribly well trimmed yet. I need to do a bit more trimming at those corners. It was so thick. Let's have a go at doing this one, shall we? So this one, again, just try and poke the holes. And poke them back the other way. Just make sure they're straight. Yep, okay. Maybe this one will go a little better. Oh yeah, it's gone through. And back again. So that must have been what I needed to do, is poke them from both directions before I try to put the needle through. Well, that went a bit better. Woohoo! I haven't got enough thread to do a bow, so I'm not going to worry about doing that. I'm just going to tie a little knot. And then this one was a bit more successful. Okay, so that's what how it was supposed to go. I'm glad I managed to do one of them without making it look too hard. That one went okay. I'm just going to trim these corners. I've got my tag shape at the bottom instead of at the top on this one, which means that they're a bit easier to trim, I think. Missed a bit. Let's do this side. And this side. Okay. Okay. I need to do just a little bit more trimming of these. Some bits still seem to want to stick out a little bit. Okay. Right, let's have a look at this one. I definitely need to trim up these papers a little bit more. I'll just do it one side at a time. It's not quite as thick. I can get a bit closer. Right, that one looks a bit better. pull those out. Okay, they look a little bit better. I still feel they need quite a lot more work done on them, but okay, so I'm going to do it like that, or like that. Maybe I'll do one like that and one... Actually, this looks better that way, doesn't it? That one can go that way, this one can go this way. So I just need to find something to do a little embellishing on some of these. Well, I've got a whole bunch of fussy cuts here, but I don't know how well they'll go on this one. Doesn't need an awful lot, I tell you what. Haha. I think you might guess what's coming next. Okay, as you expect, I've reached for the rickrack, just because I think it would be nice to have something along the edge here, and it pulls in the red. I've got couple of different widths. I'm not sure which one I want to. In fact, I've got 3 different widths. I've got a really wide one. I don't think I want that. I may want the middle one this time. I've got a very narrow one as well. All the rickracks. Let's see, is that too wide? And the thing is, once you've got that on, you don't really need much else. I do quite like that, so I'm going to go for that. That's just coming up, so I just need to glue that down. And then I think once I've put the Fabri-Tac on the rickrack, it'll hold it all down anyway. Just want to trim the top of this a little bit. And then it just looks weird, doesn't it now? A little pointy bit. Okay, I'll put that there. Cut it to about there. Okay. Oh, whoa! We have uncontrolled Fabri-Tac coming out. Goodness gracious. So I filled up my bottle and now it can't wait to get out of the bottle. Goodness gracious, this is just going everywhere. Okay, so now I've got it, a great big blob of it here. I'm going to spread it out a little bit. Ugh. It's marvellous stuff, but it's a pain to work with. Either won't come out at all, or you can't stop it. There we are. I'll just put that there. Now let's see if I can just find a little focal point. I've got glue all over the place now. Okay. So I've pulled out my Dreams Etc. fussy cuts just because I thought maybe something from there. I need something fairly bright as a contrast. So it's either going to be really bright or really neutral. I'm not sure. I like her, but I'm not sure how well she shows up. I was thinking of inking her around her with red, but I think that might not look too good. And then there's him. He's rather nice. Maybe he would work best on here. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll put Santa on there on the front. Santa in his workshop. And as it's going to go over the rickrack a little bit, I'm going to use glitter glue. So I'm right in the last dregs of this bottle. So if I can't get it to come out, I'll use the new one. You try and use this one up, and I'm not on camera. Except I can't see the other bottle at the moment. Oh, there it is. Okay, so whether I can get this one to work as well. This one is quite full. It was working beautifully the other day. Oh yeah, okay, it's all good. So I might be able to use him to cover up a little bit of where the glue has gone a bit haywire on the rickrack. Yes, I think I can. Just put him about there. Okay, so that's this booklet. This needs a bit more attention here, but so I've got my little booklet. Some of the, I think I need to cover that up, I think, because it's now facing the wrong way. But apart from that, there's lots of pages here to write in. I'm going to have to do a little extension on this one at some point, but I haven't got time to do that in this video. So I've got that. Let me just quickly find something to pop on the cover of this one. I've also got my eclectic eggplant fussy cuts here, and there's quite a few, because it's got to be for something that will work this way up. I've got a Santa here. I have a Christmas tree, that's too big. Small child with tree, blends in too much. Let's see if I've got anything else. This is rather nice. I think it might be the wrong way round. I think it's meant to be that way round. I think I had a slightly bigger Santa, like him. He might work better. He's a bit too small, so he works better. Yep, I think I might put him on there. And I might just back him with a tiny bit of book page, I think. I don't like that colour. Nope, that's not right either. What can I use? It's quite strange. A bit of a letter. It's really thick. I want to find just the perfect piece and failing badly. Well, there's a bit of red on that one. Maybe I can use a bit of that. A bit of that with a bit of red around the edge. Nope, don't like it. Oh, goodness gracious. Feel free to move on to somebody else's video while I'm faffing around with these bits of paper. Okay, there's a scrap of a letter. Could be the letter to Santa, couldn't it? Okay, it's a bit too much. Okay, I think that will satisfy my requirements. I'm going to stick that on there. Okay. Little piece of letter. And then we'll pop Santa on, and we'll just give him a little bit of an ink to make him fit in a bit better with the colour scheme on this one. This one is a lot more vintagey looking because I'm using a Stamperia paper, which has a much more vintage look than the other paper I was using. So I'm sorry yet again, this has gone somewhat over. Okay, I must have gone well over because the battery just died again. It does that. But it usually lasts long enough for most videos, but recently I think they're getting a bit old, my batteries. They're not lasting as well as they used to. So that's that little booklet with Santa on the front, and I've got, I think I've put the scripty paper in the other end, which is not what I intended. Never mind. So I might put some sort of, I don't know, some little thing on the front, on the first page here, just as an intro page, but you can see the similar sort of pages to the other one. So a nice little booklet. And there it is. That's Roxy's Weekly Challenge. A bit more of a struggle than it probably should have been, but then that's how things are sometimes. I think things that one person finds really easy to do, somebody else might find a little bit more challenging. And I'm always a little bit challenged. So that's that one, and here's my other one. So this one's more of a flippy-uppy one. I might clip these corners here. I'll see. I think I'm just quite glad to get it done now. Okay, thank you very much for joining me once again, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.